You've been watched spiritually on October 7. Archangel Michael says, your name has been written on a hidden scroll in heaven. Open this before it vanishes. Hear now, O child of heaven, for the time has come to unveil a mystery written not by human hands, but by the ink of eternity itself. October 7 is not merely another day marked on Earth's calendar. It is a day sealed in heaven's vault. It is the day when a hidden scroll opens briefly, seen only by angelic eyes and felt only by the spiritually awake. And upon this scroll, glowing with divine fire, a name has appeared, your name. I, Archangel Michael, have been sent as a witness, a messenger, a guardian of those whose lives are being spiritually observed. Not to condemn, but to prepare. Not to strike with fear, but to awaken those who have been watched spiritually. Not for harm, but for testing, preservation, and elevation. You have been monitored in the spirit realm, not by the eyes of men, but by the eyes of angels. Your thoughts have been weighed. Your silence has been noted. Your tears have been recorded. You have not been overlooked, you have been selected. This message is not for all. This message is not for the curious or the casual. This message is for the called, for the one who has felt the tremble in their chest, the stirring in their soul, the whisper in the wind that something is shifting. If you felt spiritually sensitive lately, emotionally unsettled without reason, or deeply drawn to divine things, it's not random. It's the vibration of the scroll opening for you. The hidden scroll is a divine record, a scroll of names, of instructions, of holy assignments. It appears for only a short time in the heavenly realm, and if it is not received, if it is not opened, if the soul does not respond, it vanishes, and with it, the moment passes. So this is no ordinary message. This is a summons, a spiritual moment of reckoning and recognition. This is your scroll, and you must open it before heaven seals it once again. Let nothing distract you now. Let no voice pull you away. Be still. Be ready. Be willing. The window is open now, but it will not stay open for long. Type I receive this scroll in the comments if you know this message is for you. Blessing code 7777 is being activated. By October 7th at midnight, heaven's scroll shifts its seal. I call now upon the host of heaven. I summon the flame-clad presence of Michael, Prince of the heavenly armies, guardian of the righteous, defender of the remnant. I call him forth not as myth or symbol, but as the living archangel moving between realms. Sword drawn, eyes blazing, bearing the weight of messages that only those chosen can receive. Let him now stand beside you. Let his words pierce your spirit. Let this moment grip your soul, for this is not imagination. This is divine interruption. You have not stumbled upon this. You were led, carried, escorted, drawn here by invisible forces that have watched you in silence, waited for the right moment, and now, this is that moment. The seal is turning. The scroll is shifting. And your name is being whispered in heaven's court. Listen now. By October 7th at midnight, heaven's scroll shifts its seal. What is sealed becomes hidden. What is hidden remains unread. And what is unread delays destiny. But not for you, not if you listen, not if you move when heaven moves. there's an invisible countdown ticking in the realm above, and even now, angels lean over heaven's balcony, watching for the response of the call. This is the hour when names are spoken from above. Not shouted, not broadcast, but whispered, because heaven does not need to scream when it speaks to the chosen. If you hear this, if your heart races and your breath stills, if your inner man leans forward as if something ancient is calling, your name is on the scroll. I see Michael now, standing tall, a warrior dressed in radiant light, his sword not at rest, but upright. In his left hand, a scroll burns with fire unquenchable. It glows with names written by the very breath of God. And your name, yes, your name is among them. You have been watched, but not by man, and not with malice. You have been watched by heaven, for preparation, for positioning, and now for promotion. You have felt it, haven't you? The strange unrest, the quiet urging in your soul, the feeling that something is about to shift, though you cannot explain it. You wake and feel observed. You pray and feel pull. You walk and feel as if your steps are no longer your own. This is not paranoia. It is prophetic surveillance. Understand this. You have been spiritually monitored not because you are weak, but because you are ready. Ready for what's next. Ready to carry more. Ready to be seen not just on earth, but in heaven's registry of the rising. This is a sacred hour. The scroll will close. The names will be sealed. And heaven is waiting for one thing, your response. So do not delay. Do not scroll away. Do not let this pass as just another message. This is the whisper before the war cry. This is the breath before the breakthrough. This is heaven reaching into your timeline and declaring, you are seen, you are called, you are written. Stand still. Hear it again. October 7th. The Midnight Seal. The Scroll of Fire. The name that heaven watches. The soul that earth misunderstands. The warrior that hell fears. And the angel that now stands beside you with sword drawn, guarding your name as it hovers above that scroll. Type I am written in the comments if you know heaven is speaking to you. Blessing code 8888 is now descending. They have watched you, but they do not know what heaven knows. There has been a stirring, a disquiet in your spirit that words cannot quite explain. Sleepless nights, sudden tears, whispers in dreams, coincidences that feel like divine winks, like signals from an unseen place trying to catch your attention. You felt the weight of something watching, but not always in fear. No, this is not the gaze of danger, this is the gaze of destiny. You've been watched spiritually, and the watchers have remained hidden until now. But who are they? Why now? Why October 7th? There are watchers in the spirit realm. Some are angelic, assigned by God to observe, record, and report. They watch your reactions in silence. They mark your restraint. They take note when you choose stillness over wrath, when you choose prayer over panic. These watchers are heaven's scribes, sent to determine if the fire placed inside of you is still burning clean, still burning pure. But not all watchers are holy. There are others, human and demonic. There are those who have monitored you with suspicion, envy, and hidden contempt. They've whispered your name in low places, not knowing it has already been spoken in high places. They've tried to define you by what they think they know, but heaven has written what only heaven sees. You have been the topic of conversations you were never present for. You've been the center of warfare that came without explanation. But it's not because you're in danger. It's because you're in transition. Hear me now. The scroll in heaven reveals what the spies on earth cannot see. The scroll holds the blueprint. The watchers know something is about to happen through you, but they don't know what. So they speculate. They stir tension. They probe with fear and sow confusion. That's why you've felt the emotional disturbances, the unrest, the suspicion, the irrational sadness or sudden spiritual agitation. These are not coincidences. These are signals that something in heaven has been set into motion. You've asked, why now? Why does the pressure seem to rise without cause? Why do the people around me suddenly act strange? Why do I sense betrayal before I see it? Why do I feel that something is coming, but no one else seems to notice? Because you're not meant to be at peace right now. The scroll is active. The watchers are awake. And you, chosen one, are walking in the tension between revelation and exposure. Something sacred has been written about you, on a scroll that only appears when destiny approaches. That is why you feel watch. That is why emotions are stirred. Because your name is being elevated while others still try to evaluate. Let this sink in deeply. Your emotional disruption is not a weakness. It is a warning. It is heaven nudging your spirit with urgency, with fire, with trembling. It is the silent siren that your window of visitation is open, but only for a moment. The scroll is visible now, but it will vanish unless open. And the spiritual friction you feel is because the enemy wants to distract you from recognizing it in time. Do not dismiss what you've been feeling. This is spiritual surveillance. This is divine tension. This is sacred mystery. It is God announcing a moment while letting the world wonder. They know something is shifting, but only you will be handed the scroll to read what's really happening. So stop trying to explain yourself to those who are not assigned to understand you. You were never meant to be understood by everyone, because what is written about you in heaven is too hidden for human eyes. Type "I am a mystery" being revealed in the comments if your spirit bears witness to this word. Blessing code 5511 is hovering now. If this message is opening your eyes, piercing your heart, and helping you step into the deeper things of God, then listen closely. This word is not just for you. It is for those waiting on your obedience. Every seed you sow helps ignite someone else's awakening. The Lord says in Malachi 3:10, "Bring the whole tide and see if I will not open the windows of heaven." Right now, there is an open scroll, and there is also an open window. I believe those who give into this word are not just supporting content. They are releasing light into darkness, sowing into the fire of prophetic truth. I've seen it personally. Every time someone gives, it's not a transaction. It's a spiritual alignment. If the Lord is stirring your heart to partner with this prophetic mission, you can support through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or PayPal link in the description below. This is not charity. It is prophecy in motion. Release your faith and let heaven record. blessings are tied to obedience. Act now. Declare with your seed, I will not miss my scroll. You are not being punished. You are being measured. There is a holy weight pressing on your life right now, not to crush you, but to calibrate you. This pressure is not punishment. This shaking is not judgment. This silence you felt, this distance you've sensed, this strange detachment from people and places, it is not rejection. It is refinement. It is spiritual framing. Heaven has entered the room of your life and is rearranging the furniture of your heart. You have been watched spiritually, not to expose your weakness, but to examine your readiness. You are not being hunted. You are being tested, measured, evaluated under the light of heaven's flame. This conflict in your life, both seen and unseen, is not simply an attack. It is a response to your elevation. When heaven begins to write a name on a scroll for divine promotion, hell sends every distraction it can muster to delay the reading. There's a reason your circle feels smaller. There's a reason you've grown quiet. There's a reason even joy has felt heavy. It is because the war around you is not aimed at your destruction. It is aimed at your timing. And heaven is watching to see how you respond to the silence, how you handle the unknown, how you remain when nothing makes sense. You've been saying, why is everything so intense right now? And the answer is this: you are being weighed for what's next. This is a heavenly audit, a divine assessment. Not because God doubts you, but because He is preparing to entrust you. The scroll, the name, the assignment, it requires a vessel that can carry weight without collapsing under pressure. That's why you felt exposed. That's why you felt like every word, every decision, every move is being observed. Because it is. Heaven is watching your reactions in the storm to see if you can handle the responsibility of calm. You see, the scroll is not merely a record of names. It is a book of transfer, a scroll of inheritance, a document of spiritual positioning. Those whose names are written upon it are not being elevated in secret. They are being commissioned in silence. And that silence is a part of the test. When God seems quiet, He is not absent. He is recording. When people pull away, it is not abandonment. It is heaven reducing the noise so your spirit can hear clearly. But understand this too: the darkness is watching. The enemy has sensed the wind changing. Demonic assignments have been stirred not because you failed, but because you're closer than you know. That is why resistance has increased. That is why fatigue has grown. That is why confusion has pressed against your clarity. Hell is attempting to interrupt what heaven is measuring. The enemy does not have full access to the scroll, but he can smell the oil on your name. He can hear the murmurs in heaven's courtroom. He can feel the weight of what you are about to step into. So here is the call. Stay hidden in obedience. Don't explain yourself. Don't defend yourself. Don't try to prove your worth to those who are spiritually blind. Because right now, every step you take, every word you speak, every response you give is being counted toward your commissioning. Let the watchers watch. Let them stare. Let the silence stretch. Because while the enemy is guessing, heaven is deciding. And when the scroll closes, may it close with your name still glowing on it. Type "I'm being measured" for more in the comments if this word found you in the fire. Blessing code 4444 is now resting upon you. The scroll is about to be sealed again. Will your name remain? Hear me now, for the hour has drawn near. A divine shift is already unfolding in the spirit realm, and within 72 hours of October 7th, something will collide with your current season. Something seen, something spoken, something said. Heaven is not vague. Heaven is exact. And right now, as I speak these words, a divine countdown has already begun. The scroll, yes, the hidden scroll, does not linger in the atmosphere forever. It descends for a window of divine inspection, then returns to the throne of the Almighty. And once it is sealed, the season it carried is also sealed. What was offered, if not received, will be passed. What was revealed, if ignored, will be hidden again. And so the pressure you've been feeling, the strange urgency, the dreams that have intensified, it is not a figment of your imagination. It is prophetic evidence that your scroll is close to being sealed. I must speak plainly now. You are approaching a point of divine confrontation. This is not a confrontation of fear, but one of truth. Someone is coming. Something is shifting. A meeting. A message. A moment of exposure. It may come as a conversation you weren't expecting. A door you didn't knock on. An opportunity wrapped in tension. It may be a confrontation with a truth you've avoided, or a collision with someone who doesn't even know they're carrying the next step in your instruction. But mark these words. Within the days surrounding October 7th, the unseen will demand a response from the seen. And that is why you must stay awake in the spirit. Because the enemy is also preparing. He knows he cannot stop the scroll. But if he can delay your response, if he can distract your focus, if he can tangle you in unnecessary conflict or emotional detours, he can cause you to miss your window. He does not need to destroy your calling. He only needs to make you second-guess the moment it arrives. This is the time to walk softly and listen sharply. For the Holy Spirit will speak quickly in the coming days, and your spirit must be still enough to hear. The scroll is sacred. Your name is sacred. And what's coming will either confirm your readiness or reveal where alignment is still missing. You'll not be caught unaware. Heaven is watching your posture, your reaction, your discernment. Will you recognize the divine signal when it appears? Or will you treat it like ordinary timing? Let me speak prophetically to your heart. The scroll is not about religious ritual. It is about spiritual recognition. It is God's way of saying, I am marking this moment for your next movement. And if your name is truly written, then your alignment must reflect it. This is the hour of movement. The time of testing is ending. The time of manifestation is beginning. But only those who discern will step in. Your obedience in this hour is not just about now. It will shape the next 7 months of your life. This confrontation is not designed to break you. It's designed to bring you into clarity. Heaven is initiating something so profound, so precise, that even your enemies will have to admit you were on heaven's calendar all along. So stand still. Stay quiet. Pay attention. A holy interruption is en route to your life. And when it arrives, remember this moment. Heaven warned you. The scroll was opened for you. And now you must act. Type "I will not miss my moment" in the comments if you're ready to recognize the divine signal. Blessing code 7171 has been released into your timeline. Be still. Heaven fights when you don't. In this sacred hour, when your name hovers upon the hidden scroll, when your atmosphere is thick with unseen movement, when whispers from above begin to outrun the noise below, you must understand the power of stillness. This is not the stillness of surrender. It is the stillness of strategy. It is not passivity. It is positioning. For in this window between October 7th and what comes next, your greatest weapon is not your voice. It is your obedience. Heaven has issued protective guidance, not as a suggestion, but as a divine instruction. Do not explain yourself in this season. Do not overreach. Do not retaliate. Be still. Because when you speak from the flesh, you risk forfeiting what was meant to be handed to you by the Spirit. You are in a time of divine transaction, and transactions require spiritual silence. The angels are not moved by panic. They are activated by alignment. And when your spirit aligns with God's instruction, even your enemies will be confused by your calm. Withdraw from unnecessary voices. Pull away from the noise of gossip, social drama, endless scrolling, and every distraction that whispers chaos into your mind. The surveillance around you is not just spiritual. It is situational. Certain people have been placed near you to provoke reaction. Certain environments are charged with triggers that seek to disturb your peace, because the enemy knows what you're carrying. He cannot read the scroll, but he can feel its weight when your obedience draws near. So heaven's call is simple. Protect your scroll by protecting your posture. Stay hidden in prayer. Seal your tongue in moments where you'd usually defend yourself. Choose silence when the bait of chaos is thrown in your path. This is not weakness. This is warfare wisdom. For the scroll does not respond to noise. It responds to the one who walks quietly while heaven roars on their behalf. Yes, there is pressure. Yes, there are whispers. But you are not exposed. You are covered. Covered by angels, shielded by grace, surrounded by fire. I, Michael, have been dispatched not only to deliver this message, but to encamp around those who take it seriously. Those who choose stillness will find themselves guarded. Those who obey this moment will be insulated from the plans of sabotage, misdirection, and spiritual distraction. Fast if the Spirit leads you. Cut off what clouds your discernment. And above all, speak to the Lord in stillness. Let your prayers be fewer in words and deeper in surrender. Let your spirit say, "Here I am, Lord. Seal me in your instruction." Because your clarity in this hour will determine whether your name remains written or becomes hidden again. Say this aloud, now, and let heaven hear it. I am hidden under heaven's wings. No distraction shall find me. No watcher shall move me. I remain still, for the Lord fights when I am quiet. This scroll does not require striving. It requires surrender. The weight of this assignment is not carried by might or manipulation, but by posture. So stand tall in stillness. Stand fierce in silence. Stand powerful in obedience. The scroll will not vanish from the one who waits with holy restraint. Type "I am hidden in obedience" in the comments if you receive this divine instruction. Blessing code 6161 is surrounding you like a shield. You are not being hunted. You are being elevated. Let this be the moment where your heart shifts. Let this be the hour when you look beyond the trembling and realize you are not under attack. You are under transformation. Everything that has felt like warfare, everything that has made you feel exposed, alone, misunderstood, it wasn't destruction. It was development. You are not being hunted. You are being highlighted by heaven. Yes, you have been watched spiritually. Yes, there are eyes on your journey. Yes, the weight has been real and the pressure has been intense. But hear this now. What the enemy hoped would break you has only made you visible to heaven. And not just visible, but marked, set apart, wrapped in glory. You are not a casualty in the making. You are a carrier of fire, being prepared in the shadows so that when the light hits you, you do not collapse. There has been enough lament. There has been enough shrinking. There has been enough wondering why you've been under such scrutiny. Today, let the narrative shift. Let your posture change. You are not weak. You are not cursed. You are not behind. You are being built in silence for a moment of loud glory. You've walked through the valley, yes, but the valley was only the training ground for elevation. Let me speak plainly to the destiny inside of you. Your wings have been growing while they watch. Every silent prayer, every tear no one saw, every rejection that tried to convince you that you were forgotten, those were not signs of decline. They were signs of the hatching of greatness. What looked like isolation was incubation. What felt like delay was divine timing. And now, your wings are stretching. Now, the wind is rising. Now, heaven says, take flight. They saw your breakdown, but they will watch your breakthrough. They thought you were crumbling, but didn't realize heaven was building a launch pad beneath your feet. You've been rising and didn't even realize it. But heaven knew. Heaven watched. Heaven recorded. And now, the scroll of fire bears your name not as a victim, but as a vessel. A vessel of transformation. A vessel of divine authority. A vessel who will not shrink, who will not flinch, who will not bow to fear any longer. Let me stir your faith again. Let me provoke the fire in your bones. You've walked through fire, yes, but you didn't burn. You faced betrayal, but it didn't cancel your name. Why? Because the scroll is stronger than any slander. Because the flame on your life is brighter than the shade thrown by man. And now the watchers, both holy and unholy, must witness what they never saw coming. You're rising. You're revealing. Your release. So stand tall, not in pride, but in purpose. You are being elevated because you remained loyal when it was easier to quit. You are being promoted because you passed tests only God saw. You are being announced in heaven's chambers because you chose purity over popularity, silence over shouting, and destiny over distraction. Say this aloud. I am not being attacked. I am being anointed. I'm not hiding. I'm rising. My wings are ready. My time is now. This is your shift. This is your flight. Let them watch. Let them wonder. You were always meant to be seen, but only after you were refined. Type I am rising while they watch in the comments if this speaks to your elevation. Blessing code 2929 has been ignited over your path. Your name has been whispered in heaven's court and confirmed. Now hear this, for the voice of the Lord does not speak without purpose, and the scroll does not open without reason. This moment is not just divine encouragement, it is prophetic confirmation. The watching was not aimless. The testing was not random. The emotional waves, the silence, the mystery, the hidden tension you've been living through. It was not to torment you, but to prepare you. For now the scroll does not merely reveal your name, it reveals your next level assignment. Yes, you've been watched. Yes, you've been weighed. But now, you are being released. The scroll that hovered in heaven's hand has opened wide, and within it is not only your identity, but your instruction. You are not just chosen. You are being commissioned. There is a reason the warfare intensified. There is a reason the tension grew thick. Because what is about to emerge in your life is not ordinary. It is evidence of a divine promotion. You were not forgotten. You were being positioned. And the positioning required a level of spiritual obedience most are unwilling to walk in. But you did. You endured the long night. You stayed faithful when no one was watching. You cried without answers and still prayed. You sowed when it felt dry. You worshipped in silence, and now your scroll has been confirmed. Heaven did not overlook you. Your name was spoken in heaven's court, and the confirmation was not through public applause, but divine agreement. The Trinity leaned in and sealed it. Your name was surrounded by fire, signed by the King, and released into Earth's timeline. Now comes the revealing. Now comes the fulfillment. Now comes the manifestation of everything that has been growing quietly beneath your surface. The watchers will soon see what heaven always knew. You were marked for this. What has been locked will be unlocked. What has been delayed will be accelerated. What has been hidden will be handed to you. This is the moment where your instructions align with your identity, and where your obedience unlocks the next wave of open doors, unexplainable favor, and supernatural increase. And hear me with reverence. This is not a threat. This is not a warning of judgment. This is an announcement, an unveiling, a celebration in the spirit. Heaven is rejoicing right now over the name you carry, the assignment you have accepted, and the gates that are opening before you, even now. This is what the hidden scroll carried all along. Not just a name, but a purpose. Not just a record, but a release. Your name was written, but now your path has been cleared. Expect clarity. Expect confirmation. Expect sudden elevation. The watchers will witness it. The doubters will see it. And you will walk in it with the boldness of one who knows. This was never man's doing. This was heaven's plan. So say it again. My name is on the scroll. My assignment has been unlocked. I'm released to rise. Type "I am confirmed" and released in the comments if this word settles in your spirit. Blessing code 5050 is breaking open over your assignment. As this prophetic word ignites the deep places within your soul, consider this. What you're receiving is not just revelation. It is activation. And when God releases a word this specific, this sharp, and this aligned with your moment, it is for more than inspiration. It is to change destinies. That's what this ministry carries. Scroll-level messages, heaven-sent instructions that awaken the remnant. If this message confirmed something heaven already whispered to you, then you're not just a listener, you are part of this divine movement. I want to invite you, not just to hear, but to respond. Through your YouTube membership, super thanks, or a PayPal gift link in the description, you are sowing into the release of prophetic scrolls over others' lives. You are helping heaven reach hearts it could never touch through silence. Your giving is not charity, it is prophetic obedience. The windows are open. The scrolls are active. And your seed says, I believe this word was mine, and I want others to find theirs. Let your faith speak. Let your obedience release a wave of awakening. Give boldly, sow prophetically, and watch heaven respond. Heaven waits for your yes. Say it now before the scroll closes. This is the part where hesitation must die. This is the moment when you can no longer afford to be passive about the pull you felt. You've heard the call. You've been awakened by whispers, wrecked by revelation, and stirred by confirmation. But now, you must respond. Not with your feelings, not with your fears, but with your yes. Heaven is holding the scroll open for just a little while longer, and the angels are still waiting to record one more thing. Not just your name, but your response. The scroll does not open simply to inform you. It opens to invite you. An invitation from the throne room itself, an offer not for status, but for alignment. This is not about elevation for the sake of visibility. This is about obedience for the sake of destiny. What you do in this window determines what manifests in the next season. This is not just a divine message. This is a divine activation. You must declare it. Speak it out loud. Write it. Live it. Your spiritual atmosphere responds to the voice of faith, not silence. Your yes is the key that turns the lock. Your agreement is what keeps your name sealed on that hidden scroll. Without your agreement, heaven will not override your free will. Without your consent, the scroll closes and waits for the next. But oh, beloved, heaven doesn't want the next. Heaven wants you. This is your hour to say, yes, Lord, I align. I submit. I obey. Destiny is not an emotion. It is an answer. It is a choice made in the middle of discomfort. It is the declaration made when you still don't see the full picture. You may not have every detail. You may not know the how, the when, but you do know the who. And that's all you need. Heaven is not waiting on your perfection. It is waiting on your permission. God does not need your ability. He needs your availability. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to feel worthy. The scroll already confirms that you are chosen. Now let your yes confirm that you are willing. Open your mouth now and activate what has been hovering. Begin declaring, I say yes. I will not delay. I align with the scroll. I surrender to the assignment. I step into my divine moment. These are not empty words. These are the spiritual keys that turn heavenly gears. These are the declarations that cause angelic watchers to move, scrolls to be sealed, and hidden paths to appear in front of your feet. This is not a game. This is not a theory. This is activation. And action confirms alignment. Heaven does not respond to observation. It responds to engagement. Say yes now. Before distraction whispers. Before doubt returns. Before comfort talks you out of it. Say yes now, while the fire is still in your chest and the scroll is still open in the heavens. And once you say yes, walk like it. Talk like it. Pray like it. Set boundaries like it. Move your feet like someone whose name has been written by the hand of God. The watchers are still watching. But now, they are watching to record your obedience. And when heaven sees your alignment, it releases authority. Your silence will no longer serve you. Your fear will no longer protect you. Your passivity has reached its expiration date. This is your scroll. This is your name. This is your... Type my yes is written in the comments if your destiny is being activated right now. Blessing code 3838 is unlocking your next chapter. While you sleep, heaven writes. While you weep, heaven records. There are moments in life where nothing makes sense in the natural, and that is the loudest evidence that something sacred is happening in the unseen. If you felt out of place, if your nights have grown restless, if your emotions have started trembling without clear cause, it's not instability, it's spiritual sensitivity. Something is happening that your spirit has discerned, even when your mind cannot explain it. And now, I tell you this, a silent exchange is taking place in the spirit realm. This is not a war of swords and fire. This is not an open battlefield. This is a courtroom of heaven, a chamber of divine records where angels move without sound and scrolls are sealed with whispers. While you carry on with your day, while you rest, cry, or worship in stillness, heaven is negotiating over your future. And the reason you feel the tension, the pull, the unexplainable weight, it's because your spirit is present in rooms your body hasn't entered yet. There is a transaction underway, a holy exchange. Something that once belonged to you, but was stolen, delayed, or hidden, is now being returned. Something you forgot to pray for, something you let go of because you thought the timing had passed, it has returned to heaven's table for reconsideration. You are not pleading with a distant God. You are in the middle of a divine transaction where every tear, every fast, every surrendered moment is being counted as currency. Heaven is writing what no one else can see. Heaven is recording what the world dismisses. You prayed in silence, but your prayers thundered in the realm where scrolls are unsealed. You've wept in secret, but your weeping was worshipped. Your faith has spoken louder than any fear, and now the records are shifting in your favor. What you thought was closed is being revisited. What was denied is being rewritten. Because you've obeyed in the shadows, You're being elevated in the spirit. This is why you felt the tremor in your soul. You're part of something bigger than you. This is why you've been spiritually stirred for weeks, maybe even months. It wasn't stress. It was spiritual proximity to the chambers of your next chapter. When your soul is summoned into the spirit realm, it manifests in the natural through agitation, discomfort, and even isolation. You weren't being punished, you were being pulled. And what is happening now is more than just emotional. It's prophetic. The watchers are not only observing you, they are witnessing the divine reversal being negotiated on your behalf. Every lie that was spoken over your name, every delay that tried to chain your momentum, every demonic agreement that was plotted against your purpose is being addressed in silence. While you rest, angels are being dispatched. While you worship, decisions are being written. While you stand still, the scroll is being sealed with your breakthrough inside of it. Let me declare this into your atmosphere. What was stolen is being returned. What was hidden is being revealed. What was delayed is being delivered. And you don't have to fight for it with noise. You must honor it with stillness, reverence, and readiness. Because once the scroll is sealed, the manifestation will not delay. So breathe. The spirit realm is not chaotic. It is ordered. And right now, heaven is making divine exchanges in your favor. Accept this moment as sacred. Speak nothing unless it is holy. Walk carefully. Worship deeply, because the ink of God is still wet on your scroll. Type "I receive the divine exchange" in the comments if your spirit senses the shift. Blessing code 6464 is finalizing the transaction over your life. What was plotted against you will be reversed and returned tenfold. Let the heavens bear witness, for the balance of justice has shifted. What once felt forgotten, buried beneath false accusations, lost time, betrayal, and stolen opportunities, has now come under the hand of divine judgment. Heaven has ruled. The scroll has spoken. And I, Archangel Michael, declare, justice is no longer pending. It is in motion. The watchers that once observed your pain, the voices that once tried to silence your truth, the eyes that once mocked your obedience, they will now witness your divine reversal. For every plan that was laid in secret to trap you, confuse you, or delay you, the Lord has overturned it. Not with revenge, but with righteous recompense. This is not man's payback. This is God's restoration. The gavel of the Most High has struck, and the scales are no longer tipping against you. What they meant for harm, the sabotage, the slander, the sudden shifts in relationships, the whispered lies and strategic distancing, has now become the stage for your vindication. Heaven has watched it all, and what was once permitted as testing has now expired. You passed. You endured. You stayed silent when accused. You stayed soft when attacked. And now, your reward is not just protection. It is promotion birthed in justice. The scroll that carried your name also carried a record of every injustice done against you. And with every act of obedience, every refusal to retaliate, every act of faithfulness in hidden places, the balance began to shift. You weren't forgotten. You were storing justice. You weren't weak. You were building a case in the spirit realm. And now, the books are being opened. The king is rendering his verdict, and his judgment is in your favor. Those who thought they buried you will have to watch you rise. Not in arrogance, not in vengeance, but in holy elevation. What was lost will be returned. What was delayed will be accelerated. The same mouths that cursed you will be forced to acknowledge your favor. Not because you fought, but because you stayed aligned with heaven. Let it be known, this is a reversal season. You're stepping into a moment where the last shall be first, where the hidden shall be revealed, when the dismissed shall be crowned. And none of it will make sense to those who thought they had the power to break you. Because heaven is not responding to their perception. Heaven is responding to your posture. You may not have the full picture of what is shifting around you, but watch the signs. Doors will open without explanation. People will reappear with apologies. New alliances will form without striving. Opportunities that were once blocked will suddenly flow. Because what held you back was not simply resistance, it was spiritual injustice. And now that injustice has been overturned by divine decree, your scroll does not just carry a name. It carries evidence. It carries divine proof of what you have endured, survived, and overcome. And now that evidence is speaking on your behalf, even as you listen to this, angels are moving into enemy territory to return what belongs to you. Time, peace, influence, purpose, honor. It is all being reversed, and it is all being restored. Say this now with holy authority. Every weapon formed has failed. Every injustice has been overturned. Every delay is broken. I am rising through divine reversal. Type "I receive heaven's justice" in the comments if you're stepping into your restoration. Blessing code 9991 is being dispatched to settle the accounts in your favor. You are sealed, seen, and sent. Now rise. And now, the message is complete. The scroll has been opened, the warnings have been sounded, the confirmations have been spoken, and the moment has arrived. Heaven has not only watched you, heaven has written you in fire. Your name was not called by accident. Your spirit was not stirred by coincidence. This word found you because heaven summoned you. You've been watched spiritually, not to be exposed, but to be elevated. Not to be judged, but to be justified. The hidden scroll that opened on October 7th was not just a symbol. It was a spiritual summons, calling those who have endured in silence, who have remained faithful when no one clapped, who have stood tall in the middle of invisible warfare. And now, I tell you with divine finality, your name has been sealed upon that scroll. No force on earth can remove it. No whisper from hell can revoke it. What heaven writes, heaven protects. And what heaven seals, no man can reverse. You have walked through fire, but you are not burned. You have endured the testing, but you are not broken. You have been weighed in the balance, and heaven has declared, you are chosen. You are ready. You are released. Let this be your declaration from this moment forward. I am not lost. I am not late. I am not overlooked. I am written. I am ready. I am rising. You are stepping into a new realm of awareness, not just of your calling, but of heaven's confidence in you. This message didn't come to comfort only. It came to commission. It came to pull you out of hiding and into alignment. It came to remind you that you have a scroll to carry. So protect it. Obey it. Live it. Because this is not information. This is revelation for activation. What you've heard in these words will echo in your spirit for weeks to come. You will feel the scroll burning inside you when you pray, when you dream, when you walk into rooms where you are no longer small. That fire you feel, it is not fear. It is the fire of the scroll declaring, now is the time. And I, Archangel Michael, declare this over you now. You are sealed in divine protection. You are seen by the eye of heaven, and you are being sent into your next season with the full backing of God's throne. No watcher, no demon, no delay shall override what has already been decided. This is your moment. Heaven has spoken. The scroll has been read. Now rise. Type "I am sealed for destiny" in the comments if you know your name is written in this scroll. Final blessing code 7770 is now surrounding your next steps. If this word reached deep into your soul, if you felt the weight of heaven pressing on your name, then don't let the moment end here. You are not just a listener. You are part of a divine remnant God is raising to carry fire into this generation. Your support helps spread these scroll-level revelations to those who are desperate for confirmation, direction, and truth. Heaven has stirred something in you. Now you have the chance to sow into that same fire. Whether through a super thanks, a YouTube membership, or a gift via PayPal link in the description below, your act of giving is a prophetic alignment with what heaven has just declared. This is not about helping a channel. It's about fueling the prophetic move of God across the earth. When you sow into revelation, you reap divine movement. Let your obedience echo in eternity. The scroll has been opened. The fire is real. The time to act is now. Give with boldness. Sow with faith. And let heaven multiply your obedience.